A core component of Vision Zero is promoting safe behaviour among road users. And I'm pleased to hand over to Dr. Leanne Savigar-Shaw from Staffordshire University and Michael Bullock from Avon and Somerset Police to discuss the value of warning letters for drivers whose behaviour has caught police attention.
Michael.
Good afternoon, Leanne.
Hiya, Michael. Let's have a chat then. What are the main goals and the intended outcomes of issuing warning letters to drivers who engage in risky road driver behaviour?
It's driver education. It's changing drivers' behaviour and how they behave on the roads. And when I say sort of changing drivers' behaviour, it's also the informants who upload footage to us, because quite often it's about educating them in relation to their actions and how it can be how we can improve their safety at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So warning letters for us, that's the main thing, is to change drivers' behaviour and ultimately to make them a better and safer individual on the road, shall we say.
I think sometimes that maybe that goal gets a little bit lost, or we assume that we want behaviour change, but thinking about the route to behaviour change and how we want to achieve that perhaps is what gets lost. How are we intending to achieve that goal of changing behaviour?
Well, certainly for us. So when we get an upload, we treat every upload that we get as a not guilty plea. So it's a high threshold that we have if we're going to go for prosecution. Most of our uploads end up in a warning letter. So, for example, we had 8,295 submissions last year, which resulted in just over 5,000 warning letters. So it's a case of where we look at an incident that's taken place, we decide that it doesn't meet the threshold for taking it to court because that's where it could end up. However, the actions of the driver or the cyclist or whoever it needs addressing, shall we say. So we issue a warning letter to that individual explaining sort of not in great detail, shall we say, but what their behaviour has raised concerns for us.
Yeah, and I think from the research, what we know about these letters and the effectiveness of them is actually really limited. So I think there's a bit of a mix in terms of the findings and the outcomes of the letters. We do tend to generally see they are somewhat positive, particularly when they're used in specific ways. So if we take up tutelage, for example, kind of the level of insured drivers subsequent to receiving a letter as a result of that and their evaluation of that suggests that actually letters can be really valuable in generating behaviour change for the benefit of the road safety. But what we need to do is to have more evaluation of these things, more evaluation of journey cancel mission and how is it changing behaviour. Who is it changing behaviour for? Who is it not changing behaviour for? And what can we do for those people to encourage greater behaviour change and to support that? So I'm a firm advocate for the importance of evaluating these kinds of approaches to see what's working well, where can we continue implementing that, where are the areas for development, and where can we push forward? What are the areas for improvement with these things?
I think you are right with, say, for example, the younger generation. I mean, you only have to look at the amount of younger people now being stopped and reported for having no insurance. Things are so expensive these days that a lot of younger drivers will take the chance and drive without insurance. I can imagine that sending a warning letter to them for example, a close pass of a cyclist would probably have no bearing whatsoever on how they drive.
Having said that, I think there's a real credibility and a real value potentially to warning letters. As you've said, for some people, they're going to have a great benefit. And actually, if we think about the wider benefits to this, if we are enforcing a law and saying, don't do that naughty thing, and that's pushing people to a legal alternative that perhaps is still risky, it's not improving road safety. I'm thinking of, telling people don't use your handheld mobile phone, and then they switch to hands-free phones. Well, actually, letters are ideal here because we have an opportunity to say to people, please don't do that bad thing, and also please don't replace it with an equally problematic thing.
I mean, I'll be totally honest with you. With the amount of dash cams that we're getting at the moment, I mean, we are just struggling doing what we're doing. I mean, like I said, it was just over 8,000 submissions last year. Already this year, we're up to nearly 7,500. We're going to be well over that last year. So it's quite difficult for us to do what we're doing, never mind supporting other people doing what they're doing, etc.
I think there's a real importance there in working together to find the most effective, efficient ways of working. As you say, we've all got time, resource issues. How can we work together to understand these issues, to make more effective approaches that are reducing the number of offences or problematic road user behaviours that actually means longer term we're seeing benefits that mean having, well, wouldn't it be ideal, a reduced workload based on targeting those kinds of issues, because we've worked really hard here and now to find out what's going to be most effective in tackling these things.